Everyone, remain calm.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. And later there's running and screaming.
Somebody talk to me! What is happening?
Welcome to Jurassic World.
You're listening to the Jurassic Park Podcast.
You want to consult here or in my bungalow? Hold on to your butts.
Well, we're back.
Hello, and welcome to the 123rd episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Jost, and we're here to discuss all things Jurassic Park. In this episode, we've got a bit of news to catch up on from the past 2 weeks, and then we have our monthly Jurassic Mailbag segment for November, of course, with Jennifer Terek. In that segment, we'll be covering topics such as our criticisms of Muldoon, to the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom trailer, and our thoughts on the marketing so far from Universal. You won't want to miss it. After that, we're going to jump into the audio lab and listen to a Jurassic World suite that was played at Michael Giacchino's 50th birthday concert. I did talk about that more in the mailbag as well. Then we'll hear from Jeff Goldblum on his role in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So I hope everybody had a great Halloween last week and really enjoyed our Halloween episode. For me, it was a blast to put together, and I know a bunch of our contributors worked really hard on that one. So check it out and share it around. And please, don't forget, go to iTunes, give us a 5-star review, leave us some great feedback there so it lets everybody else know when they're searching for Jurassic Park or any kind of podcast that they know ours is a good one to check out and that everybody else loves it too. The only way we do better as a podcast is if you guys all support us and share it around and give great reviews. That's the only way podcasts really survive. So hopefully you can do that for us this week. Alright, so enough of all that. We've got a packed episode for you this week, so why don't we get this one started off with a bit of Jurassic news from around the world.
18 minutes and your company catches up on 10 years of research.
Access rate program. Access new security.
These pictures were taken in hospital in Costa Rica 48 hours ago.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but look.
Boy, I hate being right all the time.
But today, I guarantee it.
Universal Studios Japan is the first park to introduce the Jurassic World brand to their entertainment lineup in a brand new parade coming in 2018 called the Universal Spectacle Night Parade, the best of Hollywood. This parade will feature the likes of the Minions, Transformers, Harry Potter, and of course Jurassic World. Along with the announcement came a bit of artwork, including that new render of the Rex that we've seen around, interestingly a gyrosphere, and a mountain peak up in the background, and another render of the Rex roaring in front of it. There's also some pteranodons flying above that peak, and some really fantastic coloring of reds and blues, and a moon up in the sky. It's really awesome. Now, the upper half of that artwork really reminds me a lot of the coloring surrounding Kong Skull Island. If you've seen that movie, take a look at this artwork. It looks vaguely familiar. Now, the parade will feature music from the films, new floats using wireless tech that will sync the music and the movements, live performers, hopefully dinosaurs, and projection mapping. Now, if you don't know what projection mapping is, it's a really awesome new technique. It's currently being used a lot inside Disney, and they're starting to use it a lot more in Universal. It's basically a projection that shoots images and videos onto basically any kind of surface that they map, and it looks pretty realistic in a lot of ways. So this news has me very excited about this parade and what it's capable of. And I'm super excited, obviously, to see what they project that's themed to Jurassic World to enhance the experience. So, of course, I think this is great news, and I think a bit of a precursor to the upcoming nightly show at Universal Orlando. Now, those studios recently ended their nightly show called the Cinematic Spectacular, which did feature many of their iconic films, including Jurassic Park. Now, that show ended, but I think this parade in Japan will pave way for new Jurassic World content to be included in that nightly show in Orlando. I mean, come on, it's gotta be a given at this point, right? Well, hopefully they include all the films, not just Jurassic World, but I'll be sure to report that news as soon as it's announced. In the meantime, head to our show notes for the press release from Universal Japan. Straight from Jurassic Outpost, it looks like there's a bunch of 25th anniversary merch coming soon for Jurassic Park. Now, first off is a limited edition collectible coin that is limited to 5,000 pieces. It does feature the 25th anniversary logo on one side and a mosquito in amber on the other. So as well as that coin, Iron Gut Publishing is also creating a bunch of cool posters with either awesome artwork on it or actual shots from the film. Now, next up, there is a reissue of the Jurassic Park Junior novelization with all new color images in there. Now, there's also a few more items here. Owen's Guide to Survival, something like a Lego paperback with stickers, I don't know. Tour Vehicle Deluxe Book and Model Set, that sounds cool. Incredibuild's Jurassic World Raptor Deluxe Book and Model Set, another cool one there. And my favorite one here is the Jurassic Park Little Golden Book. It has amazing artwork. I cannot wait to see this thing fully unveiled. I will absolutely be picking that up as soon as it's released so I can read it to my son. I'm super excited for that. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff to sift through there, so I'll leave it up to you to scope everything out via the Outpost. Find the link in our show notes. Iron Studios, creator of high-quality collectibles, put up a video on their Facebook showcasing a slow-moving camera through one of the Jurassic Park Explorer Tour vehicles. Now, there's not really much to see in the video, aside from maybe the outlines of seats and a steering wheel, as well as the interactive CD-ROM in the front. Now, you do get to hear a familiar voiceover. It sounds like Richard Kiley in the video, so I think it's safe to assume that they'll be creating the Explorer in all its glory as a collectible. But until there's more information revealed, go check out the link in our show notes. I actually put the video right in there for you to watch. So it looks like Mondo Games is creating a tabletop board game for Jurassic Park called Jurassic Park: The Chaos Gene, with art by Matthew Woodson. Alright, so after all those ones I read before, I am super pumped again for this one, as I love tabletop board games. I really hope Mondo creates something awesome for us, because there really is a lot to live up to with board games or tabletop games, as there's, so many great ones out there currently and from the past. There really wasn't much in the way of news on this one, aside from the logo reveal, I guess, and a few characters I guess you can play as, such as InGen, park visitors, a T-Rex, and a 3-pack of raptors. I'm not really sure how those all interact together. It's going to be interesting to find out. There also was a quick reveal of, I'm assuming, concept art with the raptors and a Rex. Looked all fun, but like I said, I have no idea how this will all be implemented. So stay tuned for more information on that. I'll include links to the tweets. I'll also put them in our show notes with the information from Eric Vespi and Synapse. We do have a birthday to cover from last Thursday, actually, November 2nd. It was Whit Hertford's birthday, the kid from the dig site in Jurassic Park. He's certainly grown up since then, so wish the man a happy birthday. Next up, we do have to acknowledge the anniversary of the death of Michael Crichton. Saturday, November 4th, we just recently celebrated his birthday, but now we mark the 9th anniversary of his death. I'm glad his legacy does live on here in this ongoing Jurassic series. Thanks, Michael.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I'm not a computer nerd. I prefer to be called a hacker.
Aren't you supposed to be a genius or something? I can't get Jurassic Park back online without Dennis Nedry.
Incorporating all the latest technologies.
We shouldn't be here. And there's 5 dinosaurs.
How many Sarahs do you think are on this island?
It's that time again. We are here again, and it's November, actually. It's the Jurassic Mailbag for November, and I am joined once again by the lovely Jennifer Terek. How are you doing?
Hi, welcome to the Jurassic Mailbag.
There it is. I was like, well, let's get a good intro for this, but then I'm like, forget it. Let's just wing it, By the end of these episodes, we're off the rails, as usual, like every time. So why not start off the rails? And you're singing a theme song, and I have no clue what this intro is, but it's a mailbag. Who cares,
We're not even near the rails. The rails are not in sight. I don't know what's going on. I still don't know what kind of bag it is.
We never decided. Next month, maybe we can figure it out a little bit more, because it's December, like Christmas, and then what I was thinking about Santa, all that. what you were thinking. I don't know what that was, but I don't know.
I was thinking Mary Poppins, but you took it a totally different way, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah. So, we got a mailbag. Take whatever form you want. This week or month, we have a lot of stuff, actually. We have a lot of emails here, a few voicemails, and some stuff from Twitter. So, I'm excited to get into these. Some of these are really good. I kind of, skimmed through some of them real quick, and I think there's some good questions in here.
I'm excited. I mean, last week.
Yeah, I keep saying the same thing.
Last time we spoke was fun and awesome, and there were some great contributions there, so I'm ready. I guess. I don't know what month I'm in, so it's fine.
Yeah, I have no clue. These go by so fast. Obviously, we keep saying last week, and it wasn't. It was a month ago. I have no
alarming.
idea.
That's
at least
alarming.
I mean, we have no songs to start off with. We have... I don't think there's like any video game questions that's going to throw us off, or Lost World questions or anything that's throw you off. So I think we're ready. I think this is going to be a good one.
I got so used to that. In a way, I'm already out of my comfort zone now. Like, no songs, no video games, no Lost World. What do I do?
True.
What do I say?
I'll throw you off balance here. You ready?
I'm ready.
This is an email. It came from James and Steve from Jurassic Unicast. They just wanted to say something to you. So here, I'll read it off here. Jen, this one's for you. Based on our pop quiz and your attempt of the God creates dinosaurs speech, can you, for the audience, say it again, but this time under 20 attempts? Haha, all the best, James and Steve at Jurassic Unicast.
I hate them. I'm barely functioning. Like, you're lucky I found my way to Skype here.
Yeah.
I don't even know what month it is. I just said last week we did this.
Yeah,
There's no hope here.
You probably recorded with them last week too, and that was probably 2 or 3 months ago.
Feels like it.
So you got the speech down. I mean, it maybe took you a few times last time, but you got it, I think, right?
See, this is not gonna make sense. I'm gonna sound drunk, but I'm gonna try. It's like a baseball player when they're hitting the balls and they're going good, and then they hit that World Series win at the end, and then they come back for like a reunion special or something, and they're like, do it again, and they're like, I went out on a high note, I'm not gonna do it again. And that's where I am right now. That was
the most convoluted thing. I've never seen a baseball reunion special, so there's that. So I feel like you were talking about baseball, and then you all of a sudden switched over to like Real World or something, like in the middle. So
I don't know. We're off the rails. This is how we start off the rails.
Well, I don't know. Why don't we skip that one and get into an actual first email here, and throw us both off here, because this is well, let's just get into it. This is from Matt. He says, "Hey guys, first email. Sorry, it has to be a bit of a complaint of sorts, but listening to your latest podcast on who to survive with and who not to survive with, you mentioned a certain gamekeeper and gave him a bit of a stick. Do you remember this one, Jen? This question?
I do.
Okay.
I do remember. It was Amy's question, I think.
Was it? Okay. He goes on to say...
I just like her voice.
He goes on to say, now the movie version is completely different. Well, this is a typo. There's so many... Here, this is what it says. Now the movie version is completely different to the movie one, but sticking with the movie version, that's very confusing. I think what he meant to say is the movie version is different from the book. So sticking with the movie version, he is the only person on the island that sees them as a menace, that they will be, the raptors. Also, his bravery was shown in his willingness to head out and get the kids when the power was off, followed by leaving the safety of the bunker after the raptors had gotten loose. While he did indeed die, his actions saved Ellie, in that he used himself as bait for the raptor attack, allowing Ellie to leg it out and survive in the end. His only downfall was not realizing he was walking into a trap from the side rather than the front. Though against 2 adult raptors, none of them in the wild would survive long enough, so he went out the best. He also says, So while he maybe wouldn't be your choice, he would be mine, an experienced gamekeeper with the dislike for these dinosaurs, while also looking for the best option, not necessarily the best option for Jurassic Park. Keep it up. So that's from Matt. So, okay. Thanks for listening, Matt. And, I'm always welcome to people criticizing us. Listen, did you hear the beginning of this episode? So
gave him a whole bunch of material now. He's gonna come back with an email next week. It's gonna be like
hey guys, your intros are really terrible. You should think about stepping it up. Thanks, Matt.
You should think about starting on the rails and
you should write a script and stick to it. No, I'm gonna stick with my instincts here and continually say that Muldoon is a fool. I'm going overboard on my criticism of Muldoon, but he's a cool dude, but like he definitely messes up, to be honest. Like he's not the best. He could be better. Roland Tembo is better, and he's a very similar character.
I do agree with you, because even as you were reading that, he said how he didn't know they come at you from the sides and the front. But Alan Grant is talking about that at the beginning of the movie, and he's not an expert on raptors. Like he's just a dinosaur guy. This Muldoon is supposed to know his raptors, like that's his thing. Mm-hmm. And if Grant knows that, just throwing it out at the beginning, he should know. Like he should really know that. The Muldoon guy should really know exactly how they hunt and that. So yeah, I agree with you.
He should have witnessed this firsthand, and Grant is witnessing it from the ground, like just assuming based off of fossil evidence and whatnot. And Muldoon sees it firsthand, and he still doesn't get it. And then, like I said, I think in the last time we talked about it, I don't know if this was last episode or not, but you don't make a quip. Don't say clever girl. Turn your gun and shoot. I get it from a movie standpoint. It's fun and it's clever.
No,
but,
you know what? That I like that, because it's like the Titanic guy going down with his ship. But what's his face? Like that. That's cool. I like when people do that. So the clever girl didn't bother me. That's fine.
But cool. I guess that's what it is. He's basically saying like, you got the best of me. Go ahead. Eat away. Destroy me. But it's if that's the case, why did he even bother turning the gun towards the raptor at that last moment before he was eaten? I don't know. I still think he's not the best. Like Roland Tembo is from The Lost World, is essentially like a very similar character. He's a hunter, but he's used to that same sort of element and all that, and he's a much cooler character, a much more sure of himself guy, and he's not like making mistakes, and he makes it out alive, even though it kind of hurts him in the end, but he makes it out alive.
Okay, I have a question for you and all the Lost World experts out there. Mm-hmm. So you have Muldoon in the first one, then you have the guy you just said, and then you have Owen. So would they all like build off of each other, would you say? Or are they not related? Or you think they're in the same line of character? What's your opinion?
I think Roland Tembo is like far and above both of those guys in terms of like what he knows and what he can do. Owen, I don't feel like we've really scratched the surface of who he is and what he can do and all that. I feel like we know more about Muldoon from his, short time in Jurassic Park than we do about Owen. We know he, Navy SEAL or whatever, and he's not part of the Navajo. We got that. We know that. But, I feel like as a character, we know more about Muldoon. Like, you get a sense of it based off of the writing and what he's saying. But I think... I don't know. I guess the three of them, well, not really even Roland. He kind of just is making assumptions based off predators in the wild, like lions and whatever. But these two guys, the other two on the beginning and the end, they know firsthand, I guess. But Owen seems to know, like, what to do versus what not to do. Muldoon obviously didn't know what to do when confronted with the creature. But if you put Owen in his position in the first movie, Owen's gonna get eaten too. It's not like he's gonna put his hand up and the raptor's gonna stop. That's just not what that raptor was. That wasn't a trained raptor. These are very different raptors. They're
but maybe
more of pets.
Owen would have not went in that situation in the first place. because he knows how they hunt.
I agree. That's what I agree with, sort of, because like it's a trope in film that really bugs me is when somebody says, "You go, I'll stay. Like I'll distract them. You get like that doesn't make any sense, you know? Because Ellie got out of there, right? She made it. He didn't. He didn't. Come on. Let's face it. He didn't do anything to distract them. Maybe I guess he was maybe bait, but I don't know. I don't buy that in movies in general. You know, maybe this situation is different, but in movies in general, that really bugs me when somebody says like, I'll hold them off, you go. And like, it's always so dramatic. And then that person always dies or gets injured or something.
Or the stay here, I'll go check it out. Everyone always goes. Like no one stays there.
Yeah.
That's another thing that bugs me too.
It bothers me because you're always saying in your head like, no, just go. Go, obviously go. And then because you know what's going to happen because it happens in every movie. Doesn't matter if it's a comedy. It probably happened in that too. But yeah, so that's my gripes, I guess, with Muldoon, and maybe Owen wouldn't have gotten himself in that position. I'm not really sure, but I'd have to like think about that one a little bit more.
Yeah, we went off the rails on that, but I was just curious about those three. I don't know the middle guy at all, so I was just wondering how that works.
That's disappointing because like he is one of the coolest characters in the movies.
So I hear.
He shoots from the hip. He's like a very like tough guy, old school, like rugged dude, and he goes out with like the best in the best way possible. You know, instead of Muldoon giving a quip and saying something catchy and then dying, Roland Tembo goes out like, you know, he spent enough time in the company of death and he just walks off. He wants no part of the rest of this. He realizes it's like a fool's errand and he wants nothing to do with it. You know, even if he is offered a job at the park in San Diego, he's like, no thanks. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go where, you know, I know what to do and where I can excel and do everything I want to do. So he's just a much cooler guy. He has awesome like stories and stuff that he tells in the movie. And he doesn't let anybody, you know, tell him what to do. It's really great. But Muldoon is like, guys, I told you several times we need locking mechanisms on the vehicle doors. And he's like, nobody's listening to me over here. I'm gonna pull up my socks a little bit higher. That's not how he talked, obviously, but
that was the internal voice. That's what he was thinking all the time. I'm gonna pull my socks up even higher until you listen to me. I'm gonna get bigger socks next time.
Yeah. Well, let's move on here to the next batch. We have 2 voicemails from Yaroslav. So let's take a listen to this first one.
Hey Brad, Jen. This is Yaroslav, also known as Jaros428 on Twitter. I'm just calling because I had this idea for a while. Thought it'd be cool if it was added to the podcast. It's not something I want to, you know, handle, but I think it'd be cool if somebody took it on, or if either of you guys wanted to do it. But you know, as you know, I'm also, you know, I'm the artist and one of the artists in the community, and despite that, I am actually a big fan of the music, world of music and film. So the Jurassic Park scores, it's nice to see that everybody's actually a big fan. I thought I was one of the few people in my early years of being a fan, but it's nice to see that a lot of people are also fans of it. And I thought it'd be cool if we did some kind of like some section of the podcast where we'd play one full track from any of the films, you know, per episode, and I don't know, maybe call it like Jurassic Jukebox or something like that. And maybe if you guys want to share your thoughts on the track and you know, compare it to another one that you feel is similar to, or maybe you know, you can branch off to discussion about any future score for the franchise, you know, obviously for Fallen Kingdom, and you know, maybe like a musical arc, you know, because Lost World was pretty dark, so you know, what could be done with music for the third film, I don't know. But I think a lot of people are expecting Fallen Kingdom to have a darker score like Lost World, or at least hoping. So, anyway, yeah, I thought it'd be a cool thing to add to the podcast, you know. And you know, I know Brad, you use a lot of the tracks from the expanded scores throughout the show, so I know you definitely have the library. So it'd be cool to just get everybody, you know, enjoying the score again, you know. So in case they aren't already, if you guys want to take it on. So anyway, love the podcast. You guys keep it up. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, dude. You know, I've thought about that actually a lot. You know, doing music episodes and stuff like that. It's just I just haven't gotten around to it, to be honest.
Didn't you do, like, way back when you first started and you were with Dan, didn't you do he did a music episode where you did the best?
Yeah.
Like, most, I remember that one. That was a really good podcast.
Yeah, you know, we did a few. I think maybe 2 or 3 or something like that. We did one when the first 2 tracks, I believe, or they weren't, it was like a mashup of music from Jurassic World before it was released, you know, the first time we heard it. So we did one for that, and we kind of analyzed it. And I remember, like, going through the song, The Park is Closed, or no, I'm sorry, 9 to Survival Job.
Yeah.
And I was like, this sounds like the end of the movie. Like, I'm imagining, like, you know, epic shots at the end of the movie here. I don't know what's going to be in it, but I don't remember specifically what I said, but I remember, like, specifically that's the end of the movie, and that's where this is going to be. And then the film ends, and then all of a sudden you get the credits rolling, and that's where it comes in right at this point. And that came true. We also, they also had As the Jurassic World Turns, and I was like, you know, this would make a really good like introduction to the island. That's what it sounds like to me. So, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, it was kind of obvious, I guess, but I was like, yeah, I feel like they're coming in on a helicopter. That's what it sounds like. And, you know, you get to see the park in motion. You get to see people working and dinosaurs roaming, and that's what we saw. So that was one of the first ones we did. That was so much fun, and I'm super excited. Like, I hope that happens again. You know, we get a few tracks released. I'm absolutely going to do that again. And then I think me and Dan did our, like, top 10 or top 5 or something like that tracks. Now these were, like, both really early episodes, so they're like, it's probably like me, like, yeah, my favorite song was you know, this one. Let's play a clip, guys.
I do remember them, though. So, I mean, they stuck with me enough to actually remember that you did them. So those are, I used to use the point here, because those music ones are popular and people like them, and enough that I actually remember them from way back.
Yeah, you know what the case is? I wanted to do specific episodes, like going, like, essentially track to track and kind of, like, getting the inside out on, like, all these different songs and comparing them in the film, and, you know, what, you know, just everything you could about these songs. And I just haven't really found the right person for that, because Dan really doesn't do too much here. He hasn't done anything in, like, I don't even know when the last time was. Oh yeah, you know, I do know what it was. It was that the year episode that we were all together, and he like showed up halfway through our recording, and he was sitting in his car. So that was the last thing he did.
I was doing it from the bathroom, I think, at work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you got to record where you can. But so yeah, that was the last time. I mean, he was a good person to do that with, because he's knowledgeable in music and all that, and I feel like I have a good handle on, like, all the music and scores. I've got a slight music background and all that, and so I definitely want to do that. So it's like, it's on the back burner. I need to find the right person. Jen, are you into scores or anything like that, or?
I don't know. I don't think I'm knowledgeable. I mean, I enjoy it and I love them, and I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough to really have a good conversation about it, though. Because I do remember your podcast, and he did know enough to really get me intrigued in it and stuff. I didn't. I would never know. So yeah. But what about that Fede guy? he's really good with music, and he's into that, and he has a background.
That's true. Yeah, he is really into it. I know I've talked about some other things with him too, and we've just never gotten around to it. I think he's in a different time zone, different country, so it's tough to get schedule down. But yeah, I'd like to work on that too.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one that I think of. His niche.
Oh
is
yeah,
kind of
definitely.
The music, so.
Yeah. And, like I said, I'm super excited for what Michael Giacchino has coming for Fallen Kingdom. And like Yaroslav said, I assume it's going to be darker of a score. I mean, that's kind of the sense we're all getting from, the little that they've put out there, is that this movie is going to be darker. And we all kind of, I feel like, maybe not you, but we all kind of feel like they'll take the Lost World route maybe. Maybe they'll pick up some of those, scores and whatnot, reuse them. I don't know, but... they did in Jurassic World, so why wouldn't he continue that theme? He used the original Jurassic Park themes, and then he even used the the Lost World theme in there too. So yeah, it's possible that he could use that again. But yeah, I'm really excited, and like I said, I want to get actual episodes, full episodes devoted to music, and hopefully soon. I got to find somebody. Anybody out there? Anybody want to do it?
And that whole Jurassic Jukebox, you should claim that. That's a good
it's pretty
title.
good. I like that. He's got another one here. So this one pertains to actually sort of what we were talking about before. So, and it's a question for you again, Jen. So here you go.
Okay.
Hey, it's Yaroslav again. This is actually a question for Jen. What are your thoughts on Muldoon's socks? Should they return? I don't know. There's a lot of talk in the community, in the dark side of the community, about his socks. So I don't know. I think they should make a comeback. So yeah, let's hear what you think. Peace.
Wow.
Should the socks return? That's his number one question.
Well, you know what, though? I mean, that was a weird psychic moment, because we just had a whole discussion about his socks and how they should be higher, I think they should. I think they should return bigger and better than ever, have some patterns, go all out.
Everybody wanted to see the return of the Barbasol can, uncover it in the mud, track it down. Forget about that. We need to go back and find the socks. That's the key to it all.
I think it is.
It has
There's
to
probably a key in those socks.
There
that's
could
how
be
literal.
a key to a bunker that we didn't know about, and it has secret trained raptors in there too. Mm-hmm. Maybe those raptors need to take out a big enemy in Fallen Kingdom. I think it could work.
I am almost certain that's exactly what's going to happen. So the socks do need to come back. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what Bayona's stance. Actually, Stance is a great sock brand. If you're into that, pick them up. They're really good. They last long. But I don't know what Bayona's stance is on socks. But if he just threw a little nod in there, sort of like the Jeff Goldblum or the Ian Malcolm on the book cover, little things here and there, the Jurassic Park T-shirt. If they just had a pair of tan socks or whatever, hanging up or just in the leaves. Over a piece of wood or something. That would make everything worth it.
Wears those socks every day in honor of this.
Well, I mean, let's take a serious question here, because the visitor center is still there, right?
Yes.
How thorough was their cleanup, do you think? Because they didn't touch anything. The banner is still there. The bones are still there. It's untouched. It seems like, right? I mean. And we know Muldoon is just around the corner. He got destroyed, obviously, we just talked about, right around the corner. So did they, quarantine that off and just, forget about it? Is his bones still there? I don't know.
The socks, they'd be walking through the forest, and then all of a sudden, there's socks.
Yeah. Everybody complained about those heels. Obviously, there was a good pair of socks and probably boots there, too. She could have just stopped. Forget about having to stop at a store in Jurassic World. Forget that. Or bring her own pair of sneakers. You got a good pair of socks in the jungle. They might be soggy, but it's worth it.
I didn't even think of that. That he may be around there.
No. Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I don't know. I feel like if they didn't clean up any of the other stuff, why would they have cleaned that up? They might not, well, I always try to take that into consideration, the deleted scene from The Lost World, which you didn't even see the actual movie, let alone a deleted scene. But there's a scene where they talk about like the payments for the deaths of, the people on the island, Ray Arnold and Robert Muldoon and the guy from the beginning, Joffrey. And Gennaro, I guess. I don't know if they mentioned Joffrey, did they? So they mentioned that in that deleted scene, but, no other place do we ever talk about, that at all. So it was deleted from the movie, so I'm just going to assume that they left everything there and they never collected him. They know he died, but they can't find him because he's in the forest somewhere.
You would think his family, though, would be like, hey, I want those socks back or something.
Oh my God, I did not expect that. I thought you were taking a serious turn and you're like, want his body back, they're going to get it back.
Well, there's nothing left of his body, so they might as well take the socks.
Oh God.
But that was a serious question.
Yeah, I guess, they probably would want the socks back,
Yeah, and his hat or whatever.
Like, a nephew or something is like, I could really use a really high pair of shorts. Or no, it wouldn't be high because it's his nephew. Like, they're actually normal size on his nephew because he's, a young kid. Muldoon obviously has a young kid nephew. So I don't know.
I was thinking they could use the socks as, like, Christmas stockings or something.
In remembrance of our dear Uncle Muldoon.
Because they're just so big. They're so high.
You know what kind of stuff Santa can, fit in there, so.
We're back to Santa and his bag, and I don't know how this happened.
His bag, that's a better way to put it, yeah. Somehow we forgot that word last week, right? Last week?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's move on here. Actually, speaking of, this is like a really relatable episode here. This is from Fede, and he says on Twitter, maybe it's a bit unoriginal, but what do you want to see in the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom trailer? That's part 1. So let's go with that first.
Well, that's a good question. We've been talking about what we're going to see in the movie forever, but the trailer, we never really talked about what could be in there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh.
On a whim.
No,
go ahead. What do you want to say? No time. Go.
Go ahead. Well, I do have probably a shot of them coming out of the water because we've already seen that. And probably, like, at the end, I'm guessing there'll be a lot of flashes of things. And it'll probably be them coming out of the water, probably running from something, like the ashy volcano-y things, probably running from that. Dinosaur shots, probably not much story or anything, more just flashes of things, I think. I don't know.
What do you think? I could see like an action-oriented trailer, kind of like what you're talking about. But I've always talked about like how I'd love to see like a courtroom scene, and that's where I've always assumed like that or like a newscast or something that we'd see like some characters pop up again. But I would love to see something slowly paced, but in the background, kind of flashes of, doom and destruction and dinosaurs and all that. So like a very slow paced, like you see Claire or somebody trying to, they're trying to book her for something in a courtroom, and then you get a flash of like a dinosaur or Blue still out there in the jungle somewhere. You get a flash of like, the visitors center, or no, not the visitor center, the innovation center, kind of decayed or falling apart or something like that. And then you get like, you're back to like, maybe like Ian Malcolm, just kind of like, I feel like the entire trailer is going to be a voiceover from him.
Oh,
that's my assumption.
Oh wow, I didn't think they put any of the courtroom stuff in the trailer at all, but that's what I want to see. That's on my big list. That's my thing, my number one thing. So
that's what we've assumed. We've always that was like the first thing we assumed is like we need to how would we get past the courtroom scene? I feel like that has to happen. So
I want that.
That stuff, and then I feel like so that you hear Ian Malcolm this whole trailer talking, and then at the end of the trailer you get that shot of Ian Malcolm that you've wanted. I feel like it takes like sort of like the Force Awakens route in the way where, you know, you get the whole trailer and then at the end it's like Harrison Ford and Chewie, or you're like, Chewie, we're home. You know, like he does his little thing. So I feel like that's kind of what it will be like.
I don't think that they'd reveal him, even his voice. I don't know. I don't think they'd reveal him till the very, very end of the Flash in the trailer. But also, I think it would be very action heavy and maybe a lot of flashes, but with even Claire's voiceover of the courtroom, maybe, or people like in that of what's going on, what's happened, kind of just bring you up to speed of where they are right now, but not really show the actual scenes. Just use those as a voiceover and then do a lot of flashy things, and then get like the action-y flashes and then the Malcolm thing at the end.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like there's no way around him being at the end. I feel like that's set in stone. I feel like, but yeah. As far as what else, I mean, I feel like we covered it pretty good. I mean, we know that they're returning to the island, so there's going to be shots of that island, and why wouldn't they show like Main Street, you know, and what it looks like now, or why wouldn't they show like flashes of Blue? I feel like Blue would have to be there, and even the Rex. I feel like the Rex would have to be there. And if there is a new dinosaur of some sort, whether it's an actual dinosaur or a hybrid, I feel like not a full glimpse, but like something. You know, maybe just teeth, or like maybe just the eye, or
something.
And then we have new characters too, though. So.
I was gonna say, there's so much going on here. I mean, who knows? There's so much.
Yeah,
so many different parts, and then the whole manor thing, and then James Cromwell's in there, and then Wu is in there somewhere.
True.
Crazy.
You know what?
There's
I feel like Wu will not be in the trailer. That's what I'm gonna call. I'm gonna say he's not in the trailer because he's like a big question that you have. You know, where is he? Where did he go? So I feel like that's more of a cliffhanger that you'd want to save for the movie.
Well, it depends on where he did go, if they could glimpse it or not.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I just feel like no matter what, whether he went to Costa Rica or, you know, Isla Sorna or one of the other, you know, the 5 deaths somewhere or anywhere, like I just feel like no matter what, we want to know, and they're probably gonna keep it secret.
But then you have the whole dinosaur rights thing.
True.
They might play on that too.
Well, that's like part of the courtroom, I feel like, because outside of the courtroom, you know, typically there's always some sort of protest, you know, if it's a big case of some sort. So I feel like that's where that would come into play.
I can't wait. It's going to be epic.
Yeah. So I feel like we just described a pretty good trailer. Everybody should be really pumped. Well, let's see.
I'm pumped.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Yeah. So am I. It kind of like got me ready. I'm like, all right, let's just see it.
Like it's actually happening, dude. We've been waiting for how many years, and it's actually happening. We're actually gonna get a trailer soon.
It's coming.
Can't believe it.
He also goes on to say, also, I would love to hear some thoughts about the Jurassic World suite at Giacchino's concert, if you didn't already. Now, that's the end of that. But if anybody's wondering, Michael Giacchino, he turned 50 in London at the Royal Albert Hall. They did like a concert. He didn't really conduct, I don't think, too much at all. If he did, I'm not sure. But somebody else was conducting like all his scores from different various movies, and there was the full orchestra, and then there was like a giant screen playing clips from movies and all that. There's a ton of celebrities like at this event. People from essentially like every movie, whether it was a director or an actor of some sort. Adam Savage, I think, you know, from Mythbusters, he was like the host of the entire thing, it felt like. So yeah, I don't know too much about it aside from that. But Jen, did you get a chance to listen to that?
I didn't. You sent it to me, but then I went to dinner and we got home and I got my coffee. No, I suck.
No, that's okay, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be in this episode. I'm gonna play that sequence from that concert. So what it is, you know, Adam Savage kind of introduced some stuff, and then Colin Trevorrow came out, and then he introduced the Jurassic World and getting him on board and all that, and then they played a few songs, and what was it? It was As the Jurassic World Turns, Chasing the Dragons, and 9 to Survival Job. So those 3 tracks, it was called like the Jurassic World Suite, they said, but which is weird because like that's not the suite that's on the album. You know, it's a bit different. So I guess maybe because that one was a little bit too long, they didn't end up playing that one. But for me, Fede, I didn't love it. I gotta say, I really didn't love it. And Jen, if you do get a chance to listen, I don't know if you'll pick up on these or not, but I had a few issues with, I don't know whose fault it was. I feel like the conductor, but since he's the guy like, doing everything and keeping everybody in check, there was a bit of timing issues in the beginning. Now the view I was watching from was very close, so there shouldn't be any like discrepancy between the sound waves, whether you're in the back of the theater or the front. It was very close, so he's like right up there with the orchestra, I guess, essentially. So there was very weird timing issues, and sometimes a conductor is hard to follow, I guess, but it did not sound like they were in time. Like I think it was As Jurassic World Turns, like it just didn't sound right. And it corrected itself fairly quickly, but then there's like transitions between the 3 songs there, so that was a bit different. We're not used to those transitions, which is fine. Overall, it was good, I guess, but there was just these weird moments, and 9 to Survival Job, there was a very strange transition. So at some point in that song, it starts off with a piano, very soft piano, and then later on it starts to grow, and then there's a transition towards the end before it goes off on its big finale, where there's like piano again and some I think like continuous strings, and I don't know what happened. I feel like there was a big mess up somewhere in there. Now maybe it's just me, maybe I don't know, maybe it's something from this recording, but it did not sound, it was definitely not accurate to the score. Now, of course, he could have changed it. He had to arrange everything to fit in this concert and all that, and to fit as like a little suite. But this was just like besides that. It felt like whoever was playing that piano screwed up, and the conductor continued it until they got back on track, and then the music came back in. And another tip off for me is that the video that they had playing throughout those tracks, it was just like scenes of a jungle, and then like a logo of Jurassic World, some more jungle shots, like a fossil or something, and then at the very end of that song, which is obvious, they played the last scene of the movie. So you get that camera where it goes around the back of the Rex, goes around the side, the Rex roars, and then the screen turns black. But the song or the film ended like 10 seconds before the music ended, and it was very awkward looking. Like it just, and I went and actually watched a few other of the scores of different movies, and they were all in sync perfectly. Now usually like when you go to like a movie concert of sorts, like where they actually play the score with the movie, they actually like have this like screen in front of the conductor that keeps them in time, so they know like that they're not falling behind, because the music actually has to match up with the scenes and correlate to the action and all that. And I'm assuming that same thing happened here, but something happened. It was just weird. So maybe I'm being too nitpicky, but see if you watch that, and if you have any issues with that. I don't know what Fede has, if he has any issues or not, or if he just wanted us to talk about our love for it. I don't know, but I don't really have love for that. The rest of the concert, like I listened to the Rogue One stuff, it was awesome, sounded great, perfect. It fit with the movie that was playing on the screen. There was very obvious transitions in that one, so I don't know what happened, but something happened.
Okay, yeah, I gotta watch that because I'm curious now as well. But this just proves a point that Fede should be your Jurassic Jukebox partner, and yeah. I don't qualify because I didn't even watch it. But I should watch it though. I mean that. Yeah, it's good. It's fun it's a good thing to see anyway, because you get to hear the intros and everybody and Colin talking about
Michael Giacchino and all that. And it's funny because if you watch some of the other ones too, they all like jab at him, kind of make fun of him and joke about him and stuff like. It's sort of like a roast in a way. So it's a lot of fun, and it's great music and stuff like that. So it's worth listening to.
Yeah, I gotta do that.
Let's see. I think we're gonna go to a voicemail here. This one is from J Jurassic, I think.
Hey, what's up, Brad and Jen? It's J Jurassic here. I don't really have any questions. Just calling in to say that I really love this segment. It's hilarious hearing all the different things that people ask and how a lot of the fans out there think we know so much about what's going on with Fallen Kingdom. We're just fans ourselves, creating a fan podcast. But it's always great to hear this. I really enjoy this segment. And I just wanted to drop by and say hello. That's about it. I don't really have any questions. And, yeah, keep it up. This is a great segment every month. It's always fun. And I'm betting Jen still hasn't seen Lost World. I'm pretty sure she hasn't. Anyway. Alright, guys. See ya.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jen. I feel like it comes up every time.
It was such a nice message. And then that happens. But he's right. He should have bet. He would have won. Yeah.
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 Yeah, but
it'll happen.
Yeah, I think we gotta do the commentary. I feel like that's what it's gotta come down to.
It might need to come down to that.
Yeah.
I just need a moment to force myself to not work on something and do that instead, but I just never do that.
Yeah. You'll get to it. No big deal. I'll cover your I don't know what I'm trying to say.
What are you covering?
I'll cover for you. I added too many words. I said I'll cover for you, and that's it. So I know the movie, you don't. It's okay.
Are you gonna physically bring me a blankie, or are you just gonna do something?
Good night, Jen. Tuck you in. Have a nice night.
I don't know what's going on now. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I do love this segment. Obviously, as he just said, it's ridiculous and funny and stupid. Hopefully, if people think it's funny, I don't know. But
you know what's great? We sit here for however long and just crack each other up and just be ourselves. But it's great that other people don't find that annoying and they actually enjoy it.
I hope.
I'm shocked that they actually enjoyed it. But I'm pleasantly surprised because I enjoy doing it and I'm glad that they enjoy listening.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. And you're going to be a little disappointed here for this next one. It's from Amy. But it's not a voicemail, so you don't get to hear her voice. So instead, you get to hear my voice.
You better be cheery and friendly and sound exactly like Amy.
No, because I feel like if I did that, it would just come off as like insincere, and it wouldn't like sound as good as hers. So I'll just read it.
It's hard to sound as good as Perky. I mean, it brightens my month.
I know, sorry. I feel bad. How does Amy feel now that she didn't get to brighten your month?
I don't know. I'm sure she's there in spirit.
Oh, of course. Okay. Well, you'll see here. She says, "Hey guys, it's Amy. This month I'm doing things a little bit differently by sending in an email instead of calling due to a cold. Nobody wants to hear that. I hope you guys had a great Halloween. I loved seeing all the Jurassic Park themed costumes from the community on Twitter. So this month I have a question for the both of you. It came to me last month when I read the article that you posted on Twitter about Jurassic Collectibles creating the night vision goggles, which, by the way, was incredible. I loved reading all about the details and the time that he put into it. Well done. My question from that is, if you could have any item that was in any of the Jurassic Park movies, what would it be? Besides the night vision goggles, because let's face it, we all want them. I personally have always wanted Hammond's cane with the mosquito encased with amber on top. I think that it would be so cool to have the real one. Looking forward to hearing your responses and hope y'all have a great day. Best, Amy."
I love that question. I love when people ask me this question, and I love this question because there are so many ways you can go with it. And I always have my one thing that I've been wanting since I first saw this film. And I think I've mentioned it once before, but it's Nedry's Squeezy stress toy.
Oh, wow. You're going simple there.
Huh?
You're going pretty simple. You don't need anything like too elaborate or anything like that. I mean, you just need...
Like I said, we can go various degrees. I can really think it through and get something really sentimental. And I mean, there are plenty of things definitely throughout those, but that Squeezy toy has just it's been in my heart for so many years. And you know what? Did you know I just went to Universal in September in California. I think it was in California. And you know, whenever you board the river adventure, you get in your raft and they have that little area where the employees are sitting behind glass, like watching people get in their thing. There is the Squeezy toy on like the counter behind those windows. I saw it. Josh had to grab me because I was going to go get it. Like that, it was there.
That's awesome.
It's like up there. I don't know if it's in Orlando because I never noticed it, but I was just there in September in California and it was sitting there and I almost leapt up out of the boat to receive it. But
wow.
I mean, I can think of another heartfelt one, but honestly, that's what I've always wanted.
I'm trying to think. This is tough. Yeah, the night vision goggles were always so cool. You just, as a kid, you just wanted to put them on just like Tim. What else is there that's like unique, like a prop of some sort? I mean, like the raptor claw from Grant. I didn't have that one, obviously, but I had a fake, it was made of like, I don't know what it was, like plaster or something. It was cheap and everything, but it broke, which I was like super upset about as a kid. But I had that raptor claw for a very long time, and I loved like having that and like redoing the scene and like acting it all out. That was such a cool thing to have. That's not like, it's not like the coolest thing, but what else is there?
Well, here's another update, I guess, from California. Whenever we went to Universal to go, you know how they have little props? They have the flare and Claire's badge and the wristbands, the boys' wristbands. All that was gone. They don't have it on display anymore.
Oh, no?
We were really sad. No, we even asked. It was supposed to be in the information room, the whatever, the help desk or whatever, and they had that movie, that Three Kings or whatever that new movie is, Kingstown, yeah, Kingsman. That's it. They had, I was so close. They had those props there instead, and we went in and we asked, where's the Jurassic World props? Like, oh, we took them out, they're not there anymore. We put the stuff in. We were heartbroken because I didn't get to see it. I never got to see it.
Yeah, we're probably missing like some really cool thing. I mean, like, if you want to, like, step it up a little bit, I always wanted, like, an actual RV, like that camper from The Lost World, which you, of course, don't know again. But it was very cool. I mean, you've probably seen maybe the toy or something like that floating around. I'm sure seen it.
No, I've seen it. They have it on back to California. They have it on the backlot tour, the big truck thing, the big thing.
Yeah, that, like, the RV thing, it was so awesome, and, like, to have that in real life would be insane, but the guys do that are redoing it now, so that's awesome. They got the thing, but yeah. I've talked about this before, but my mom got the Mercedes M-Class from The Lost World, like the sort of camo vehicles from that one that Eddie got torn apart in, and I always felt like, this is awesome, like we got that truck from that movie. That's so cool. But I'm gonna stick with that raptor claw. I really want like that. That's so cool.
Well, what about the giant Hammond statue in Jurassic World? Can I put that in my living room?
Sure, why not?
Take that. Okay, since we're going for it, I'll upgrade from the little Nedry Squeezy toy to the Hammond statue.
Yeah, you might as well,
Tiny upgrade.
Amy is kind of in luck here because I don't know if she's seen it or not, but the cane, like at least the replica, does exist where you can buy it and everything. It's from Paradise Collectibles Group, so it's like a it's our friend Derek here. He runs the company, and he actually produces these. And I believe it's I don't know if they're affiliated, like selling it with Chronicle Collectibles. I think that was the case. I'm not sure if that's always the case, but so they have this exclusive cane. So if you want that, Amy, go ahead. I mean, it could be yours.
And I have a question for listeners, if anyone knows this information. Like I said, at Universal in California, they do have the squeezy toy sitting there. Now, is that a replica, or is this ride full of actual Jurassic Park props? Because this is in California. This is the one that they built, with it and everything. I mean, are there other props there? Is that the real squeezy toy? Because it's behind glass. I mean, it's there. It's safe. No one's going to get it.
I can't imagine. I feel like that would just be like something so cheap that anybody could just pick up anywhere.
But it's the same one.
Yeah.
Like, where do you get those from?
I don't know. We're going to find them. Somebody's going to send us a link. Be like, here you go. It's only $2. Go ahead.
99 cents. But it's like, I don't see them. I've never seen them anywhere else except in the movie and right before you get on the ride. So
yeah.
Someone needs to solve this mystery for me, because this is a big deal. This is my thing. Like, this is what I want from the movies.
Well,
I hope it makes that noise too. Like, I want it to squeak.
We're pretty easy to again, don't know what I'm trying to say. Pretty easy to satisfy. There it is. That's the word. All we need is a squishy toy and a raptor claw. That's it. That's it.
And if we want to go big, I'll take the Hammond statue. Yeah. And I'll take Claire's flare, sure. It's no longer on display, so what else are they going to use it for?
Could be yours.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Let's move on to the next one here. It's an email from Caleb Burnett. He says, "Hey guys, it's Caleb Burnett at Caleb Composed on Twitter. This is my first time writing into the mailbag. I have to say the podcast is fantastic. I love it. It helps me get through the workday on a regular basis. Anyway, I have a few questions for you. Number 1, do you like Ian Malcolm's character better in Jurassic Park or The Lost World? And which version of Malcolm do you hope to see in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Number 2, do you think that we'll get any surprise character appearances or deaths in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Number 3, what do you guys think about the sparse marketing so far for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Would you rather have a ton of promotions up to the film's release or a minimum level? Thanks, guys. Keep up the awesome work."
Well, Caleb just beat me in fantasy football, so I don't know if I want to answer anything.
Yeah, Caleb's awesome. He's always interacting online and stuff, and he just beat you apparently, so
he did.
Sorry, dude.
I was set too. I was getting it, and then in the last minute, Jimmy Graham. Anyway,
yeah, you guys had the Jurassic fantasy football league or something, right?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, moving on. His first question was about Ian Malcolm.
Ian Malcolm. So
of course it was.
Yeah. So your answer is number 1. I'm assuming the first movie.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I don't know. Maybe just a whole different version. I'm not a big fan of him to begin with.
Yeah, we've heard that.
Yeah.
It's so tough. I mean, I don't think he can be the same guy from the first movie because of all the, unless they just erase all the, past history of him as a person. But, maybe 14, however long it was between whenever he, no, it was longer than that. I guess 21 years. He's probably healed. He's probably like a better guy now. He's probably forgotten about it. So, I mean, maybe he is more towards the Jurassic Park version. The Lost World, he was kind of like scarred, from his experience. He was a bit more afraid than he was the first time around. And I don't know, maybe he won't be that, because I can't imagine he's going to get into any kind of crazy situations. So I think he's just going to be calm, collected, cocky, and he's gonna tell it as it is and give his opinion. So I don't feel like it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be like comparable to the versions that we've gotten before.
I hope that's the case, because I think I want to like him in this one, especially since he's coming back, and it's kind of a lot riding on that for him, I think. And
yeah,
I do think they should make him different and show that time has passed and that years have passed and he's different. But I mean, it's obviously the same guy, but different. I'll take a different, and I hope neither. My answer to that is I don't want him to be like neither, just unique.
Yeah, that fits. Number 2 here, it says, will we get any surprise character appearances or deaths?
I want to say no. I don't think they can really hide much, and they wouldn't want to hide much. Like, if they were bringing in some surprises, I think they'd want to promote that as much as possible, or would know of it by now. Mm-hmm. And surprise deaths, probably not. I don't think that's what this is going to be about. I mean, we know the T-Rex is probably going to die. We know Dr. Wu is probably going to die, and it's pretty obvious what's going to happen there. We just don't know how. So it's more the how, not the what, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're not the greatest at keeping secrets over there. You know, we tend to know a lot about what's coming, and you know, even if you go to like, you know, The Force Awakens, there was spoilers about who was dying in that movie, you know, weeks before it came out, and you kind of either read it or you didn't, and you were still surprised, I guess, as to like how it happened, I guess, but you still knew, and it still was not technically a surprise. But so I can't imagine that like surprise character appearances or maybe even deaths are hidden at this point. Death I could see maybe being hidden, but appearance maybe not. I don't know. It's tough. But I'm gonna go on a limb. I feel like this is a huge limb, or a tiny limb, I guess, because it's going to crack and I'm going to fall off and look dumb. But I'm going to say there's going to be a death.
A death?
Yeah. Well, there's definitely going to be deaths, for sure. But a major one. I'm going to go really far out on a limb and say Chris Pratt's going.
What? That's hilarious. No way. They would not lose that much money. No. He's
I know, right? Them. Like, I know. I have that same feeling, but I also know, like, he is just so popular. Like, you know, he has, you know, all the Marvel movies to look forward to. And, yeah, I guess he can make it work, but, you know, they keep talking about how Guardians 3 is kind of like the stepping off point for the new... what do they call their the new phase or whatever that they're doing over there. So I don't know. I mean, he's going to be a big part of all the Avengers movies, and which is, they filmed the first one, the second one I think is filming now, and I don't know. So maybe he won't be too busy, but who knows?
So it's not a matter of the character dying for any shock value or purpose. It's because Chris Pratt's schedule, you think?
That's what I would assume. I mean, that's the only reason I would assume that he'd die. And
no, I don't think.
And because I think it is Claire's story, but I don't know how much they'll stick to that or not.
It is Claire's story, and she deserves the story, but they're not going to let him go. I mean, look how much marketing value he has.
Yeah.
Even if he's in the movie, I mean, he didn't film that much, so even if he's in the movie just a little here and there, he's still going to be the lead of everything. They're not going to let that. And he kind of has loyalty to them because he did get cast there before anywhere else. So
yeah. I mean, like, there's a great possibility of bringing in anybody else after that. You know, they could find another marketable character. They could even bring back Grant or Ellie, you know, or Billy or Eric.
Okay, you have Chris Pratt or Billy.
Eric. I mean, Eric and Chris Pratt, same difference. Who cares, you know?
Oh my goodness. See, Chris, he holds the key to this generation, the younger generation. Yeah. They're going for him. So
look, I said I'm going out on a limb. I'm taking a wild guess.
You are falling. You're in the falls. I see you going down and waving.
But so that's my assumption, and you don't think we're going to get much of anything there. So
no, I'm not expecting any surprises with that.
Number 3 here then. What do we think about the sparse marketing so far, and would we rather more or less?
I would like creative marketing, not so much as a ton of stills, spoilers, and trailers, but more involvement with the community, maybe some contests, and just different things to get people involved and remember that there is a movie being processed, because I think a lot of people probably forgot already by now. If you're not involved like we are, you just forget. And then the poster doesn't help because it doesn't have 2 on it anywhere, and so from a distance it looks like the old movie, and they're not doing too much here. And I wouldn't mind seeing something, even just extended universe or just something.
Yeah, you made a really good point about the poster looking too similar in a way. And people not knowing, because I still see it constantly on Twitter, if I'm just searching hashtags or whatnot, people are still saying like, oh my God, I didn't know another Jurassic World was coming out. And we're literally, a few months away from it, half a year away now. So it's just kind of crazy that the marketing is not even to that level where people still don't even know, they have no clue. So I agree with you. I kind of want more interaction between them, not necessarily stuff.
Yeah, just a reminder that it's there, because I do get tweets all the time, a couple times a week, of people sending tweets to VH Network saying, oh, is there going to be another movie? Are they making another Jurassic? Like, because just last week I was posting a lot of Jurassic stuff, and people were saying, oh, are they going to make another movie? When are they making it? Are they going to put this out? And I'm like, it's filmed. It's done. It's going to be out this year. They have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange because we're so involved in it. Everybody on this podcast, everybody listening to the podcast, everybody knows. Like, a lot of people that are involved in the community on Twitter and whatnot, and elsewhere, I guess, wherever you participate, everybody knows. But it's those people on the outskirts that have no clue. And yeah, I mean, we're hitting the point where the marketing would kind of jumpstart anyway. I mean, some movies take an approach where they go like way in advance, but not all of them do. So I think we're at that mark where it's like it's gonna start happening, and then everybody will know. So I have no doubt that it'll be obvious that there's a new movie coming out. But as of right now, I'm okay with the level of stuff I guess we've gotten. I don't know. I feel like I would like to see maybe a little bit more, but that interaction I feel like is key, and it just hasn't really happened. I mean, the Twitter page has done like, little videos, fun videos and stuff like that, but there's still no like recognition about a new movie. It's all like, what's the 5 best scenes from Ian Malcolm, or the 5 best dinosaur moments. It's always like top 5s or whatever. And then they'll post happy birthdays and stuff like that, but most of the fan community is already done. Like, they've already all said happy birthday, and then like hours later at night, it's like, oh, here's a happy birthday from us. So I feel like they're behind it. So they need to get like on top of it a little bit more and interact with the community. And they have that page on their website, which doesn't make any sense. It has been completely inactive, and it says, I think it says like Jurassic Community or something like that. And it has one picture, I think, in like a few posts or whatever, but nothing else. So that I feel like is a place where you could utilize different people from the community, or different, or even just retweeting things or posting different things on there, or just interacting with different groups from the community. It could be a really cool place for people, and they're kind of failing on that aspect.
Yeah, so you hit exactly what I was saying, because there is a strong community here, and everyone contributes something different, and for them to just ignore not only the film they made, but the community as well, and just assume that we're all on board, and we are, because we have no control of our lives, but assume that we are all on board, and I don't know, that's kind of taking advantage. They could do so many things, and there are so many different parts of the community out there that they can include, especially if they do have a community section on their website.
Yeah.
There's so many things you could do. You could do features. You could feature different things, every podcast, every website, every whatever. I mean, you could just do so many things. And there's just endless there. And that doesn't have to give away anything. It just gets people involved and invested, and then that'll spread. And at least it'll bring awareness that they're alive and working on the site, and that there is maybe something coming in a year here. But I mean, they haven't done anything at all, and that's disappointing. It's 2017. Come on, people are connected.
It's funny because
be doing that.
we all feel like we should be a part and be helping, and we are. I mean, we're doing our share. You know, we're talking about it every week.
We're doing their job, really. That's what we're doing.
We're talking about it here every week. Other podcasts are talking about it, you know, and other websites are talking about it, and everybody's doing like a great job at producing their own content. Universal's not doing too much aside from these little quick videos and happy birthdays and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like they need to utilize everybody and kind of, you know, get something going. And I was going to say something about it. I forget where I was going. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I feel like there needs to be more.
I mean, that would be really incredible to not only honor the people who have stuck by them during this hiatus, I guess, is 3 years of time where people have been working and putting effort in to support their whole franchise, and just it'd be so great to include them and be like, thanks, here's the spotlight here for you, or here's this, and just something. I mean, it can't be that hard.
It's not even about having like a spotlight. It's like we serve our own community, you know, here, and like I'll post stuff on like Reddit and stuff like that and get like no reaction from anybody. So it's like very strange on like the Jurassic Park Reddit on there. So like there's a lot of great fans on there, but there's like zero interaction. So I feel like it's just like, I don't know. It's not about the spotlight. It's about getting the information out there. So like I'll post it on Reddit. Like, here you guys are. If you
I didn't
listen,
mean like a spotlight. I meant just to bring people's attention that we're doing stuff.
Exactly. Like it just the fact that there's other fans out there, because if somebody visits JurassicWorld.com, they might not necessarily know that you know, our podcast exists, Jurassic Outposts exists, you know, all this stuff. They might not know that these outlets exist. So it'd be nice for them to kind of say that, you know, there's other fans like you out there. You know, pay attention and follow these communities, or interact, or
because everyone has something that they offer, and everyone's interested in different things. And like, if you do, we're all connected by Jurassic World, Jurassic Park. So if you do go to Jurassic World, their website, and you go to community, and if you saw a list of things, you can easily pick where you fall and what you're interested in, and it'd be right there for you, instead of just being like, oh, well, here's an inactive site, I'm gonna go watch Star Wars instead. Like, that's what's happening, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, they might be losing people here and there, and you know, us, you know, here at the podcast or other websites can only do so much to get the word out there, because there's just people that will never know. Like, they will never see us or, you know, somebody's post. If Jurassic Outpost like writes a great article, like there's people that are just not going to see it, unfortunately. And it's funny because like I'll listen to like a podcast from a major like movie website, and even they're saying like people just don't know that, you know, this, you know, anything about the Marvel universe. So like they're talking about like what's part of the Marvel universe, and they're like, people don't know what's part of that universe, and people don't know this or that, and it's funny to hear even a major website talking about it, or, you know, so it's not just affecting like smaller communities, it's affecting all of film communities that people just don't know what's going on. So I guess it's kind of like you need to infiltrate like the everyday person in a way. And you know, Jurassic World and their website and their Twitter and their Facebook have the best opportunity to do that.
I mean, I'm sure they get more hits, more views than anyone in this community combined, all of us combined.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Tenfold. And they post the same, like, birthday message. That's it. That's what they use their soapbox for. And it's like, come on, you got all the resources in the world here working for you for free, just because they out of love, and you're just gonna not even acknowledge. And I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's our really deep thoughts on the marketing.
Yeah. we're clearly invested in this.
Yeah. No, it's not about being recognized. It's just about getting the information out there for people that want to participate.
To people who want it, exactly. Yeah. It's definitely not about saying, look how great I am. It's more someone who just wanders in and they're like, I'm interested in this. I don't know where to go, so I don't know. I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So we're down to our last one here. We've been going for quite a while, over an hour now. let's hear our last voicemail from Veronica, our best friend.
Besties.
Hi, best friends. It's me, Veronica. I'm gonna go off my Twitter post that I tagged you guys in about how Jeff Goldblum has a small part in the new series, and I just want to say how disappointed I am. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I don't know. I just want everybody to come back in these next movies. I'm assuming they're going to continue on the franchise. I don't really know, but I don't know. I just hate when people do small cameos like that. They bring them back just for, that nostalgia effect. But I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm extremely disappointed. If you're going to bring back a character from the movie and even from the book series, anything related to that in general, you should give them a bigger part. Do you guys know what I mean? Or do you guys feel what I feel? Oh, I don't know. So I wanted to ask you guys what your thoughts were on that, and then also if this franchise, continues on, do you think that they're going to bring back, all of the characters from the previous films? Not previous films, but Jurassic Park. Do you think they're going to bring back Ellie Sattler, Dr. Grant, maybe Lex and Tim? Do you think there's a possibility of bringing back those main important characters back into the context? I also think it'd be cool if they just brought everybody back from the other two movies too. I don't know how they could do that. I don't know if it'd be relevant. Anyways, to make this conversation short, yes. So tell me what you guys think about Jeff Goldblum's relatively small part, and if the franchise continues, what characters would you like to see come back if that happens? All right, besties, I will talk to you guys on the next Jurassic Mailbag. I love you guys. You guys are the bomb. I really wish I could meet you guys in person, but I'm pretty sure we live in all different states. But, it is what it is. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
That was awesome.
I love that. I love that. I do. I have so many strong opinions about this. Do you want me to go or
ahead.
Do you want to go?
Take it over. Okay.
So, I like that he has a small part in this movie because I agree. Oh, I have so many things going on in my head right now. Okay, so I definitely agree that all three should be back, and even the kids or whatever in the final one. If we're getting one more after this, Veronica, just you seemed unsure. We are probably most likely, absolutely certainly getting a third one after this one, and that would be the time. And I think it should happen to have everybody, those three back, and even maybe the kids. I don't know where that falls in the third. I mean, that's exactly how you should go out. That's what should happen. Now, the Jeff Goldblum quickly here, because I kind of have my heart set on the full reunion thing in the third, I'm cool with him just having a little cameo just to get attention and people excited about it, and it's fine because hopefully in the third one they really pull it together. Jurassic World obviously felt really good on its own. It didn't need any of the originals, and it introduced a whole new angle, which was great, and number 2 is kind of that way too, so that's why I don't mind the small role. But then the third one, the last one, it really should tie everything together. I would love to see everything tied together, so I'm cool with his small role here in the second one. It's fine with me. What's your opinions?
Well, yeah, I mean, assuming we get him to come back for the third one, I'd be okay with a smaller role, I guess. But since I don't know, if he's gonna be back, which I feel like no. I feel like the answer is no. This is it.
Oh man, I don't feel that. That would hurt me. I feel like I need it. I need that full circle thing. I don't know. I don't feel like that's this franchise, unfortunately. I just don't feel like that's what it is.
You know, I always compare this to Star Wars, but this is the most obvious comparison, I guess, because of it's one of the only other like big franchises that does all those things. Like they do tie, you know, things into a bow and like kind of, you know, come back around. But even in The Force Awakens, there was moments where, you know, Han Solo never met Luke in that movie, and Luke never met Leia, and so there was never that moment where they were all together. And that now that can't happen.
Star Wars though, like this potentially could be the last Jurassic.
True, but I mean this is their last go at it, most likely too. But that's what I mean. Like that's the kind of franchise that does those things. This one I feel like just doesn't do that. Like it's not about like, I don't know. I don't know.
Like
I don't
they
feel
should.
like it is.
In the last one,
I hope that they'll get at least Grant and Ellie back.
I feel they should, not for a huge role. I don't mean like a huge role, but I mean just to tie it up. They should be there. I don't know what's going to happen. We obviously have no idea where that's going to go, but for right where I stand right now, I truly believe they should be there.
Yeah,
in the final.
My problem is I just don't know what to do with them. You know. I really don't know what their role is.
Yeah, we don't know where they're going with it.
I barely know what Ian Malcolm should be doing in this movie. You know, I think he's just going to kind of be like a voiceover and just kind of, you know, on his own. I don't think he's going to interact too much. But I don't know. I have no idea what he's going to do. I don't know what they could potentially do. I mean,
do you wish he had a bigger role than just a cameo?
I do. I do, yeah.
We're on the total opposite ends of all of this. Interesting.
I feel like sort of like Veronica said, I feel like cameos are almost like stunt casting. Like, hey, here's this guy. You remember him, right? Like he's back. Let's watch, see what happens. Like I agree,
which is in my head, which is why I think the third one, hopefully they really tied up, which is why I'm okay with this just being a quick, exactly what you said, little quick thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if that happens, if they do tie things up and bring them together, I just don't know that that'll happen. I have no idea, but I just don't see it happening because I don't know the reasoning. Because they didn't get along to begin with. Like they weren't friends or anything aside from maybe, you know, Ellie and Grant. But I don't see them ever coming back with Malcolm. You know, they obviously I felt like didn't get along in the first movie, and then even the third movie is like, yeah, he's a little crazy, isn't he? Yeah, okay. Like
well, what if they don't actually share a scene? They're just part of the movie in their own way, in different whatever they're doing right now. They kind of pop up in their own contributions, whatever they do, instead of it being like a Three Stooges coming back, kind of Musketeers, like best friends conquering this. Like, what if they're just honestly all separate, but yet they all have something significant to offer?
Yeah, I just don't know, because like I don't know what that could be. You know, I feel like you could probably do better than, you know, advice from Grant at this point. You know, like, he's been away from it for so long. Ellie, I mean, like, I'm not sure what kind of advice she's going to get her husband. What's his name? Degler.
No, she's totally divorced and her and Grant are married. I don't know what you're talking about.
Is she? Yeah, I mean, that. If he was around, like, what is she just going to get him to save the day again? Because that's apparently what happened, I guess. But... you know, Ellie saved the day, but, you know, I don't see what her role is, really. I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point, but we have, maybe in a year or even after this movie comes out, we'll have a totally different opinion. We might both have totally different opinions. Who knows?
Oh, we can see it now. I know exactly what they're going to do.
Well, everyone always asks you, so you must know exactly what happened.
Yeah, as Jay said, we're the ones that know exactly what's happening. We're part of it.
Definitely. So by being part of it, I agree that Malcolm should only have a quick cameo in this one because I believe and I trust and my soul wants it to be wrapped up. I know a lot of people probably don't want that, but I just feel like if this is the last Jurassic ever after this one, I feel like it should be acknowledged. It should tie the two together. The two moments in time should be somehow tied together. I need that. I mean, I get Jurassic
Yeah.
World. It makes perfect sense that no one was in that. It had to establish itself
Dr. Wu,
separately.
but
Whatever. But then it
yeah, I
established
mean,
itself.
they could have done it without him, I guess, but
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I forget he even exists. So that they had established that, and then the second one here with the quick cameo, that's fine because it's just gently touching in on this whole different world that they created. And then the third one, I want to see it all come together. We don't even have any idea what's going to happen in the third one, so
no clue.
Totally change.
Well, when we know what's happening in this, maybe we can answer this again for Veronica. But yeah, I kind of I just wish it was a bigger role. Like, I was disappointed, like she was, to find out it was only something small. Now, I mean, this just came from quick interview with him with Empire Podcast, I believe. So, he says it's going to be a small but impactful role. So we'll have to see. I'm sure it's going to be, making an impact, but yeah, I can't see it being big, and that's unfortunate. I just feel like it should be a little bit bigger, but if you're right and they do come back, then that's okay.
Small and impactful is exactly what I would want from him at this point. Now, in the third one, if they were doing that with just him alone with a small and impactful, I don't know about that, but I'd want more, or at least something else. But for the second one of this new rebrand, so to speak, that's enough for him, because this isn't his world technically. Yeah, I mean, it's not. It should be their world altogether, like in the third one, how I said. But in the second one, this is still the new rebrand, and I don't think he should claim it, so to speak. He should just have his little important moment and be done with it.
Well, there it is.
There it is. And I'm gonna get all this hate mail.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a fair point. I mean, it's fair, but I mean, we just gotta wait and see. We have no idea if a small role is good enough or not. So I'm gonna say I wish it was a little bit bigger, but small, it might be fine. Like, it might be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Might be just the right amount.
Impactful is the word, I guess. That's what we want to go with.
I guess that's all that matters. That it's actually, he's not just kind of walking in and out of a scene. He's not, doing something unworthy. He's actually making a difference. So that's good, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all we got. If you guys have any, further questions or want to write in yourself or call in, please do it, because we're going to be doing this again in December. Assuming we can figure it out and don't forget until the last day. But we'll do it. We'll get it out there. And if you want to call, you can call, let me remember, 732-825-7763. Don't be afraid. Just leave a voicemail. It's cool. It's there's a little jingle, and I think I maybe say something. I don't remember. But I'm not picking up, so don't worry. Just leave a voicemail, and then you can also email us if you want to write us a letter of sorts. You can send it to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com, or if you want to send us an MP3 or something like that, if you don't feel like calling that phone number, if you're from overseas or somewhere else, send us an MP3 to that email, and we'll definitely get it on the show.
Awesome.
So, Jen, where's everybody going to find you if they feel like, bugging you about the Lost World or something?
If you just cannot get enough of my rambles, you can go to Jennifer_Lynn89 on Twitter and the Bryce Dallas Howard Network at BDH Network.
Now, I feel like you always got something big. Is there anything coming up with BDH Network at all? Or?
Oh, I wish there was. No, there's actually nothing going on, really. It's a nice hiatus. I mean, I feel like it's just everything's gonna explode here. Well, recently, I just found some brand new pictures from the Jurassic World original photo shoot with Bryce and Chris. They're brand new, and they just came out, and there's about 3 of them. I started releasing them one at a time, so that's exciting.
Yeah,
you can go get that.
Just enjoy it. Enjoy the relaxation, because it's gonna get out of control.
I know. I mean, Bryce is already doing a thing on Sunday, so it's starting again.
Oh boy,
ready to go.
Well, thanks again, and we'll be doing this again, and if you care to listen, we'll be here in December.
Yes, and send in your thoughts, questions, randomness, We like randomness. It's fine.
Of course, randomness. That's all this is. Off the rails, randomness.
Off the rails. We weren't even near the rails.
No, what rails? Did you see it? I didn't see the rails.
Nope. No rails.
No rails. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.
Hold your fire. Do not fire.
God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates dinosaurs. Boy, I hate being right all the time.
We're gonna have to jump. We can. Are you ready? 1, 2, 1.
This week in the Audio Lab, we have a few things for you to enjoy. I commented on most of these in the mailbag, but first we're going to start off with a suite that was put together for Michael Giacchino's 50th birthday. It was performed at the Royal Albert Hall in London. Now, remember those issues I talked about earlier in the mailbag segment? And let's see how you feel after this. So take a listen. audio from the concert came from Sunny Bell on YouTube or at RaptorChaser17 on Twitter. Thanks for heading out there and grabbing that awesome audio. Next up, we have some audio from Empire Podcast with Jeff Goldblum discussing the size of his role in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. The question was brought up by our friend Jack Delamere, so here it is.
We've asked for some readers' questions, and we got a lot. And Jack Delamere is asking, he's very curious about your role in Jurassic World 2.
Jack, you're curious like a cat.
He wants to know how big your role is.
It's small. And who knows, even, they may cut me out entirely, But if I stay in, I'll be a sprig of parsley or a little garnish, hopefully with some impact.
Jack Burton.
Here's a clip via Radio Times of Goldblum discussing his character of Ian Malcolm. Check it out.
Also soon you're back as Ian Malcolm in Jurassic World 2.
Yes.
What's he been up to since we last saw him, and what can we expect in the new film?
I don't want to give anything away. You're like my wife. She says we're watching movies together, and she goes, "What's going to happen? Are they going to?" I go, "I don't know." Or if I've seen it before, I go, "Do you want me to tell you?" Then you don't have to see the movie. I'll tell you if you want.
Sure.
Okay. So likewise, you're interested in. You don't want to ruin surprise. Don't you love to be surprised?
I do, but you could hint. You could increase my anticipation.
Oh, thank you very much. That's a good suggestion. Let me see. Well, Ian Malcolm, yes, might be back in this one, and he might have something to say about the current, confluence of circumstances around, the use and misuse of technology, with some wry, irony, but some deep, wise, passionate conviction. He might. And he might put on a nice, dark bit of clothing here and there. And a tinted glass, maybe. What's he been doing in the meantime? He opened a jazz club, probably, and he's been playing every Wednesday at a place called Rockwell. He calls it Rockwell. Yeah.
Because he does.
Because what?
He does. Rock well.
He does. Rock well. That's clever, man.
There you have it. It's just a gift to hear him speak, seriously. Jeff Goldblum has been making rounds due to the release of Thor Ragnarok. So he's been out there in just about every place lately. It's great to hear him. So this gets me actually super excited for his press for Fallen Kingdom. It's going to be glorious. I know it. Even if his role won't be huge, we'll get plenty of Goldblum in the spotlight. Make sure to visit JurassicParkPodcast.com to find all our past episodes, brand new news articles, information on how to contact us, and much more. It's a great source for everything related to the podcast, and of course, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Head to JurassicParkPodcast.com and help us build a great community.
Anybody hear that?
Thanks for listening to the 123rd episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. Of course, a big thanks to Jen for joining me once again in the Jurassic Mailbag segment. One of these days, we're going to figure out what this mailbag looks like, but today is not that day. Maybe next time. Thanks again to everybody who submitted emails and voicemails this week. You are all awesome people. I really mean that. And I always love interacting with everybody, whether it's through the show or online. Keep them coming in, and you know what? Hey, why not start sending in your questions and thoughts for the next mailbag right now? If you want to interact with us, we do most of our work over on Twitter, at Jurassic Park Pod. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Jurassic Park Podcast, and our Instagram handle is at Jurassic Park Podcast. You can listen to us via iTunes, Google Play, Podomatic, YouTube, our website, or wherever else podcasts are found. So make sure to subscribe to automatically get new episodes every week. If you haven't already, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes or a great review wherever you listen to the podcast. It will seriously help out our rankings and make it easier for fans like you to find us. We're usually spotted commenting on the Jurassic Park subreddit as Jurassic Park Podcast. Don't forget to check out JurassicParkPodcast.com for all the links you heard here today. If you want to get a hold of us, you can email us with any news stories, MP3s, comments, or if you want to debut a segment of your own, send them to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. Or you can submit questions directly on our website contact form. If you'd like to record something for the show, send it in to us and we'll feature it in an upcoming episode. If you don't have any way to record, you can give our voicemail line a call and leave us a message. That number is 732-825-7763. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
5 minutes. Drop what you're doing and leave now.